We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 9:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. You need a water filtration system, a water softener. You can get that at betterwater.com. Very excited. We got a big show today. You can watch the entire thing live on YouTube and Rumble. Why would you want to watch a radio show on your TV? We'll have video for all the audio that you hear on your radio, on the YouTube stream. It's always there for you. And if you miss something, you want to share it with a friend, it's there as well. Hit like and subscribe, all the things. Vicky in the YouTube chat, she likes the new introduction that we did. We have an intro video on YouTube. It's the best intro video out of anybody's on the station.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Sam Rutherford's producing this morning. Mason has a bit of a bellyache. That's okay. That's okay. I think we have Pepto-Bismol around here somewhere.
Somewhere.
Just shoot him a text. Let him know we got some of that pink stuff if he needs.
Maybe he needs some better water filters.
I think he does. You know, if you got junk coming out of the tap, it'll give you a bellyache. Could turn the frogs gay also. Betterwater.com. Joan Jones in the newsroom. Ken Weaver will be joining us halfway through the broadcast. We're the only show with the benefit of the two best news people in the entire state on the show. Yeah. Okay. All right, Joan, I'm not going to say it if you're going to do that.
It was just such a nice thing to say.
But I'm okay. But now I don't want to do it anymore.
Okay. Forget I said it.
All right. Probably won't say that again. She said,
Till tomorrow.
She said, aw. I wasn't going for that, Joan. Stop. So we got a lot to get to. You're more than welcome to join the show any way you want. 615-737-9986. That's the phone number. That's also the text number. You can also jump in the YouTube chat or the Rumble chat and let your opinions be known and heard. Anytime you want to turn the monologue into a dialogue, I'm down for it. We can go full Matt Murphy if you want to. I like that. Let's start today with those Texas Democrats monitoring the knee status. I want to let you know it's officially bent. Yes, the Texas Democrats, they've conceded. They returned to Austin, and the redistricting is officially done. The Texas Senate has passed the map that added 5 GOP seats, eliminates 5 Democrat seats. This is a big win, and congratulations to all those involved. Now, they did try at the last minute to block the passage of that congressional map, but not enough Dems left to break quorum. There's this video going around of them trying to flee the state capitol. I'll put it on the stream in case you're watching. So they're all walking out, right? They're like, we're out of here, bro. You're not going to do this to us. Nazis, bigots. I'm just assuming. I'm paraphrasing. I'm assuming that's what they're thinking. Evil racists, all the things. So they're all walking out. Unfortunately for them, 2 Democrats stayed. And that map did pass 19-2. So we're going to get some more GOP seats. Awesome. Beto O'Rourke has really been using this whole thing to try and stage a comeback. Beto, he lost all of his momentum as one of those new faces of the Democrat Party when he said, you're damn right we're going to take your AR-15 away. Do you remember that? Do you remember when Beto O'Rourke said we're going to take your AR? I remember that. because I thought, like hell you are, sir. Like hell you are. Beto O'Rourke said that a couple times. Yep, we're going to take your guns away. That's what we're going to do. So he's in Texas, and clearly nobody was a fan of that. But he's been using this redistricting as a platform to get his voice back out there. He's been landing a bunch of interviews. He was on MSNBC last night talking about we're going to fight, and the real Texans are going to win at the end of the day.
A criminal enterprise being run out of Washington, D.C. and Austin, Texas right now. Joseph Goebbels infamously in the Third Reich said one of the best political tactics is to accuse your opponent of that which you are guilty of. And so that's what they're doing right now. And yes, Texas sees through that. Texas is going to stand and fight. And ultimately, I believe Texas, the real people of Texas, are going to prevail.
Oh yeah, Goebbels. Did we mention Goebbels? He was a Nazi. But don't worry, the real Texans will win. I think they did yesterday, actually. Just me. Maybe that's my own opinion. But Beto O'Rourke, soft and salty. He's just basically a pretzel at this point. So he's very upset. Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of Texas, is actually going to go after Beto O'Rourke. You see, he was fundraising off of all this and raising money for Texas state Democrats. There was a judge that came in and said you can't do that. There was a court order. He allegedly violated that court order, barring the fundraising for State House Democrat fugitives. So now Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has asked the state court to clear the way for law enforcement officials to arrest one Beto O'Rourke, again, for allegedly violating that court order that barred him from fundraising for the fugitive State House Democrats who fled Texas to delay that redistricting process. Paxton filed a motion for contempt in court against O'Rourke, alleging that he violated a Tarrant County, Texas judge's order and is therefore subject to a fine of up to $500 and jail time of up to 6 months behind bars. I hope they go after him as hard as they possibly can. I think that this is the only thing the Democrats are going to understand is a bit of a taste of their own medicine. Nobody's above the law. Nobody's above the law. So Ken Paxton is going after him, saying, Beto told me to come and take it, so I did and beat him in court. Now he still thinks he's above the law, so I'm working to put him behind bars. That's what Paxton said in a Tuesday morning statement to Breitbart News, exclusively ahead of its public release. Robert Francis flagrantly, he uses the name Beto to be young, hip, and cool, and a little bit Hispanic, but he's not. Robert Francis, as Ken Paxton says, Robert flagrantly and knowingly violated the court order I secured that prevents him from raising funds and distributing any more Beto bribes. He's about to find out that running your mouth and ignoring the rule of law has consequences in Texas. It's time to lock him up. It's the old scale. The more UFA, the more UFO. Beto O'Rourke is about to find out. Now, we'll see what happens there. Ken Paxton doesn't play games, so I'm very much looking forward to it. On the other side of the country, Gavin Newsome, very upset, also salty and soft. He put out a deadline to Donald Trump that, if Donald Trump, if you don't stop this Texas redistricting, we're going to redistrict so hard in California. And he posted this from his governor's press office on Twitter, all caps message, that you have 24 hours to stand down. If not, they'll be forced to lead an effort to redraw the maps in California to offset the rigging of maps in red states. That was the demand and the threat from Gavin Newsom to Donald Trump. Donald Trump just ignored him. I don't even think he responded. Did Trump even respond? I don't think he did, which is hilarious. I think what you're doing is wrong. And Trump's like, I'm not thinking about you at all. Newsom wrote in this letter dated August 11th, I'm writing to ask you to call on the governor of Texas and other red states who are acting on your request to draw new congressional maps through an unprecedented, mid-decade, hyper-partisan gerrymander to rig the upcoming elections to stop those efforts. You're playing with fire, risking the destabilization of our democracy, while knowing that California can neutralize any gains you hope to make. This attempt to rig congressional maps to hold on to power before a single vote is cast in the 2026 election is an affront to American democracy, the letter said. The letter, all in all, sounded like it was written by ChatGPT. The only thing it was missing was the extra long hyphens that you get in ChatGPT. Spoiler, if you get those, you can just be like, hey, remove all those because it looks like this was written with ChatGPT.
You imagine if he left the suggestions that chat does when you finish the essay?
Yeah.
You want to make it more personable or have it more of an attack style?
I swear this sounds like it was written by ChatGPT. It was probably a low-level staffer who used ChatGPT. So the letter added, this is not what the founders envisioned, and California cannot stand idly by as this power grab unfolds. I do not do this lightly, as I believe legislative district maps should be drawn by independent, citizen-led efforts, as we have done in California for the last 2 decades. California, where Republicans make up 40% of the voters, yet they have 20% of the representation. Got it. Maybe they could hold up Illinois as an example, or Massachusetts. You know, they did the same thing. They threatened to do the redistricting in Massachusetts, and they said, you already don't have any Republican representation. So, thank you for your attention to this matter. But after this letter was sent by Beto O'Rourke, the press office said Monday evening that Trump had 24 hours left to respond, and they did it in all caps. This stupid tweet. Put the stupid tweet on the screen for me. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, this is the stupid tweet. Donald Trump has 24 hours left to respond to Governor Newsom's letter. If he does not stand down, there will be a very important press conference this week with a major announcement. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The left can't meme. Again, they're just jacking what Donald Trump says, and they're using it and thinking that they're funny. They're not. In Texas, Trump has said that if some districts are redrawn, it could yield up to 5 congressional seats. We saw that happen in real time yesterday. But this letter from Gavin Newsom, so silly. And they've doubled down as of yesterday, saying Donald Trump missed the deadline. They did this also in a stupid tweet. Put the other stupid tweet on it. We're up to 2 if you have a stupid tweet counter. Donald Taco Trump. The taco stuff, again, just a forced, terrible meme by the left. The tacos, Trump always chickens out. That's what the Democrats are saying. If you're paying attention to Blue Sky and TikTok and Reddit, Trump always chickens out. When? Where? Show me specific examples, please. Exactly. It's a long list. It's exactly. Donald Taco Trump, Taco Trump, as many call him, missed the deadline. California will now draw new, more beautiful maps. They will be historic as they will end the Trump presidency. Dems take back the House. Big press conference this week with powerful Dems and Gavin Newsom, your favorite governor. That will be devastating for MAGA. Thank you for your attention to this matter. GN.
They are trying to copy his rhetoric so hard.
It's just so cheesy.
They're obsessed.
It's so weak, so soft. But what do you expect from Democrats? They can't create anything new. All they can do is tear things down and destroy it. So we're going to be looking forward to this press conference. You excited about a press conference with Gavin Newsom? And what did they say? Powerful Dems. I'm sorry. I didn't think you guys had much power at all. Weird.
See, admitting that they crave it in that same instance.
Honestly, I mean, which powerful Dems are they going to bring out? Nancy Pelosi? Maxine Waters? Got it. You gonna bring Jasmine Crockett?
Oh my God.
AOC?
If you wanted to scare people.
I mean, you could. You very well could. This is going to be a fun one to watch and see how it pans out. Gavin Newsom again calling Donald Trump an absolute chicken, saying that you're going to chicken out. Donald Trump didn't chicken out. The Texas Democrats didn't chicken out. Actually, the only ones that chickened out were the 2 Democrats that didn't walk out, so that way quorum couldn't break yesterday, and they got the vote done anyway. Weird how that works out. Isn't that weird? We'll see what happens. Has Gavin Newsom tweeted anything this morning? I haven't checked yet, but I'm wondering if he's scheduled that press conference yet. He put out a nice video on his Twitter account to go at Donald Trump. This is before the redistricting went through.
President Trump, it's time.
Oh, hang on one second. I got too much audio running around in the background. That's my fault. This is Gavin Newsom.
Another phone call to Greg Abbott. This time, instead of calling him and telling him you're quote unquote entitled to 5 congressional seats, it's time to tell him to stand down. It's time to recognize that democracy is at risk. It's time to, dare I say, do the right thing. Actually see how that feels for you, doing the right thing. If you don't, California will neutralize anything you do in the state of Texas. California will continue to punch above its weight. We believe in democracy. We believe in the enduring values of our founding fathers. 249 years. We're not going to sit back passively. We're not going to sit back and watch you light democracy on fire.
You know, it's funny he brings up fire. Woo, for the record. Let me just let the record show my response to Gavin Newsom is woo. But it's funny he brings up fire because, you know, his residents are trying to rebuild after those Palisades fires, and the state of California is holding up all the permit processes. And instead of worrying about his citizens like he should, he's worried about what's happening in Texas. Once again, putting American citizens last. Classic Democrat moves. We'll pay attention to this story, and we'll bring you all the updates should they become available. And we'll be paying attention to Gavin Newsom when this big press conference happens with many powerful Democrats. We'll have the relevant audio for you. On the way, we're going to talk about the fallout in D.C. You know, Gavin Newsom says Donald Trump never does the right thing. Yet yesterday, we saw the right thing in real time as D.C. is once again made safe again. We're seeing National Guard troops being deployed on the streets. I'm a big fan of this for many reasons. We'll talk about it on the way. It's 9:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
3 people have died near Chattanooga this morning. Heavy rains flooding that area. And the surprising support for President Trump's safety push in the nation's capital. All of that and more coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name's Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com.
3 people have died.
Heartbreaking what is happening in Chattanooga. So if you pray, I would ask you to pray for the families that have been affected by that flooding. Pray for the ones that have lost their lives, and pray that we wrap those individuals just in comfort and love as they deal with what they're dealing with. Heartbreaking stuff, and it happens so fast, man. So again, prayers up to everybody dealing with the flooding in Chattanooga, everybody that's lost someone, and we hope that nothing more happens, that we get no more bad news out of that area, and that the cleanup is quick and fast, and that people are there. The community steps up for those that have been lost. Heartbreaking stuff. We'll have updates on that in the newscast with Joan Jones. In the meantime, there's a lot of fallout of what's happening in D.C. Maybe you've heard the D.C. police have been federalized. The National Guard has been deployed. Now, a lot of people are very excited about this. They understand that with this federalization is going to come new levels of safety. There are other individuals who are very upset about this because it's Donald Trump and he's an authoritarian. Not an authoritarian, an authoritarian. Now, the Guard has been deployed. There was one video going around, leftist, very upset. And Amuse on X has this video. Liberal gets very upset at DC police, and he decides to throw his Subway sandwich at FBI and Border Patrol officers because of Trump. So you're seeing this guy walking around. What is it? It's not a $5 foot long anymore. That's like a $12 sandwich, right? Like a $12 sandwich.
Oh, the privilege.
And he's very upset, and he takes his sandwich, and he decides to throw it. If you're watching on the stream, he throws it right at the chest of an FBI agent. And what happens next is, he runs away and he gets tackled. Here comes the throw. Boom. Fastball. Meatball marinara to the badge. Now, guy in the pink polo, Coral. Is it Coral or is it pink? He runs away from those agents before getting tackled in the middle of the street, handcuffed and arrested. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. This is just one aspect of the fallout that we're seeing from D.C. Meatball marinara mortars. Here we are. Leftists, everyone. Leftists. We'll talk more about the fallout when we get back after the news with Joan Jones, which starts right now on Super Talk.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And rain may return to the middle Tennessee area later on today. And because the ground is already saturated, it could lead to some more flooding. There is a flood watch for much of the Nashville area through 7 o'clock tonight. 3 people were killed this morning in East Ridge, Tennessee. That's just south of Chattanooga when a tree uprooted during heavy rainfall and fell on a car. 2 adults and 1 child were killed inside that car. In Hamilton County, almost 7 inches of rain fell in a short period of time last evening. That caused floodwaters that shut down I-24 near Chattanooga and dozens of roads there as well. A state of emergency is still in effect. The U.S. could have its first hurricane of the season affecting Puerto Rico over the weekend.
We're watching Tropical Storm Erin still promising to become a major hurricane as it heads north of the Caribbean islands by the weekend, and most of the guidance keeps it east of the U.S. East Coast. However, it'll send some big waves and rip currents in our direction by next week.
ABC News meteorologist Jeff Smith. In Washington, D.C., National Guard troops are on patrol for the first time since President Trump launched his crackdown on crime. They're being welcomed with open arms by some.
It comes as Washington, D.C.'s crime statistics face new scrutiny. The head of the police union claims city officials are exaggerating the recent drop in crime.
We're still averaging around 200 homicides. Frankly, the city is dangerous. It continues to be dangerous. Anyone that operates in the city or lives in the city knows that.
Washington, D.C.'s Attorney General firing back, saying the police union chairman has his facts wrong.
ABC's Nicole D'Antonio there. Wall Street, nice bump here. The Dow Jones Industrials are up nearly 300 points. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, and it is back to school time, and Busy Bee is bringing you the buzz with some big savings and some sweet giveaways. Now, if you got septic issues, now's the time to act, and let's be honest, it was probably yesterday when you needed to act. But do it today. You can get 15% off any septic work, main drain lines, or whole home repipes just in time for the new school year. And you can also upgrade your HVAC system. When you upgrade your HVAC system, you're going to be entered to win the Healthy Hive giveaway. This is going to be a $1,500 sponsorship to the local school of your choice. You always hear about teachers coming out of their own pocket for school supplies and things for the classroom. Imagine if you could bring a $1,500 sponsorship to that classroom. Well, you can with Busy Bee. The school's got to be within the service area. And forget the red apple. How about something better for the teacher, the coach, the faculty member in your kid's life? When you buy a Beehive Club membership in the month of August, you get to give one away for free to that teacher, to that coach, to that faculty member. Let's start the school year off right. Let's grease the wheels. Hook them up with a Beehive Club membership. Buy one, gift one. It's that simple. Plus, you can breathe easier with indoor air quality products, $100 off, and more from Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Give them a call today, 615-775-7833. That's 615-775-7833. And you can always find them online at busybeehvac.com. .937 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. You're not doing the music? But Sam, what are we doing, Sam? I'm just giving him a hard time. Sam's filling in for Mason, who's got a bit of a bellyache. We got Joan Jones in the newsroom, and we got you guys on the phone lines, the text line, and inside the YouTube and the Rumble chat. If you want to call the show, 615-737-9986. We appreciate you joining the show, however you're joining the show, whether you're listening to us on iHeart, TuneIn, or the FM dial, or whether you're watching us on Super Talk TV. Thank you for being a part of this. Please hit like and subscribe on the show on YouTube. We appreciate when you do so. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. It will help all the hosts on the station have bigger opportunities, land bigger interviews, and more. I mentioned it the other day, you'll see a podcaster out there, and they'll get Tulsi Gabbard on. And it's not because they're the best interviewer on the block. It's because of the subscriptions that they have on their YouTube channel. Now, I'm not saying that we'll never get Tulsi Gabbard on, but I am saying that does make a difference to individuals. So if you can hit like, if you can hit subscribe, you will greatly help this radio station. I appreciate it when you do so. All right, DC fallout. It's happening. The police force has been federalized. National Guard has been deployed. Everybody's upset. That is, except for the people who are sick of crime. Judge Jeanine Pirro was given a press conference yesterday, and she had this billboard. And this billboard had all of these young men who had died due to gang violence in the city. And Judge Jeanine Pirro said, I guarantee you that individuals that were shot and killed by someone, their families want justice. Their families want these people caught. And Judge Jeanine delivered a message to all the criminals inside Washington, D.C. yesterday. This is what that sounded like during her press conference. Judge Jeanine Pirro.
So much for joining the program.
Hold on. What do I got? There's too much audio going on. Oh, this is what happens. You open up a Fox News link, and Fox News automatically plays a video on their page, and it's very, very annoying. I wasn't even using that in the segment. It was just open in the background. Sorry. Maybe it's too much inside baseball, but it does annoy me that it's like auto roll. I don't need that. I'm a grown man. I can hit play when I'm good and ready. Do you feel that way too?
Yeah, I mean, and the ads that just start playing with the audio. I don't want to hear about whatever you're plugging.
We're trying to listen to Judge Jeanine. That's what we're trying to listen to. Here she is.
United States. I don't need any more statistics. All I need are people to recognize that these were vibrant human beings cut down because of illegal guns. I guarantee you that every one of these shootings was with an illegal gun. All right. And I guarantee you that every one of these individuals was shot and killed by someone who felt that they were never going to be caught. And I want to send a message that we are going to catch you, we are going to change the laws, that if you're 14, 15, 16, 17, we're going to bring you into the justice system. No more of this D.C., council, if they're under 16 or if they're under 19 or if they're under 25, we'll give them probation. No more. I'm done with that.
Let's go.
United States.
Are you done with that as well? I'm done with that. If you are going to be 14, 15, 16, you're going to be running around the city with a gun, you're going to be shooting people, yeah, you're going to need some serious charges. Not a slap on the wrist, not a quick stint and a release with no bail. No. Judge Jeanine is not playing. D.C. is not playing. And I think that you're going to see this ripple out throughout the country. I think you're going to see law enforcement empowered again to do their job. And it's about time. We're past time. Let's be perfectly honest. With everything that we see going on in this nation, the police need to be able to do their job. Donald Trump sees that is a huge hole, massive hole in D.C., and he's not going to take it. Now, the press that's in the room with Judge Jeanine, they want to get her on a gotcha question. And they tried to. They did their best. They said, Judge Jeanine, aren't you worried that you're going to be cutting funds to gun violence prevention programs? And Judge Jeanine, she doesn't take any crap from anyone. She wasn't exactly impressed with the question.
You said that means it's had enough. Goodbye. Thank you. Come on. I want you to report on.
But you said it's guns. You said it's guns on the street that's causing this problem. Are you concerned that the DOJ's funding cuts to gun violence prevention programs undermine the effort?
We are putting all kinds of resources onto the street.
She says, oh, stop it. We're putting all kinds of resources onto the street. Cut the crap. This is what leftists do. Ma'am, you're cutting gun prevention programs. Okay. We're also putting National Guard troops on the streets. I think that's going to help. I think it's going to help. Now, a lot of individuals have said, well, what about the homeless? You know, we played a video of a deranged leftist with a septum piercing yesterday saying, I know what we're going to do with the homeless. They're disappearing people. This is a bad thing. And I hate the TikTok generation. And I'm begrudgingly on TikTok at Chris Hand on there if you want to follow. But I hate the TikTok generation and how the algorithms have changed things. Like, you don't say murder or kill anymore. You say unalive. You don't say kidnapped anymore. You say disappearing. And it's like, give me a break. So there was a leftist on TikTok yesterday. She's down in the Capitol. I can only assume she's a leftist because of the septum piercing, the bull ring on the nose. And she's handing out whistles to the homeless. Whistles. Because the homeless are being disappeared. Do you remember this from yesterday? Did you listen to that yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
So this lady, I mean, she's got her rainbow shirt on, and she's running around. She's handing out whistles to the homeless because she doesn't want them to be disappeared. And it's a huge joke because at the end of the day, they want to get the homeless help. And I'm sorry, being able to just do fentanyl on the street and pee and poop wherever you want, you're never going to get better. Leftists said, well, we'll fix that. We'll fix it with whistles. It didn't. It's not going to work. Sorry. And I'm waiting for videos of just deranged homeless people running around with whistles, blowing them constantly. But they said we're going to get whistles to the homeless. That way they don't get disappeared. Carolyn Levitt addressed this yesterday, not the whistles in particular, but what they're going to do with the homeless, with the vagrants. And she boiled it down to really a simple choice. You can choose option A or you can choose option B. But the ball is going to be in your court.
The Metropolitan Police Department, with the support of the new federal agencies who have been surging on the streets of the District of Columbia, are going to enforce the laws that are already on the books here in Washington, D.C. For far too long, these laws have been completely ignored, and the homelessness problem has ravaged the city. So D.C. Code 22-1307 and D.C. Municipal Regulation 24-100 give the Metropolitan Police Department the authority to take action when it comes to homeless encampments. So homeless individuals will be given the option to leave their encampment, to be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services, and if they refuse, they will be susceptible to fines or to jail time.
And I say good. Listen, you're never going to fix the problem with these addicts by giving them clean needles and giving them crack pipes. I'm sorry, you're not. What you're going to do with an addict is you're going to force the bottom. That's how you fix it. You don't fix it by enabling. You do it by helping them hit rock bottom as quickly as humanly possible. So that way, they got some choices to make. And this is what this administration is doing. They're going to force the bottom. You can either go into treatment or you can go into jail. People will call that inhumane, but I'm sorry. Anybody that's ever dealt with someone with addiction understands that this is the only way to deal with it. You can't hope and pray your way out of it. You have to cut off all contact. You have to be as cold as humanly possible, and you have to make it as uncomfortable for the addict as you can. That's the way. That's the only way. Enabling the addict in your life isn't going to help them. Giving them $20 isn't going to help them. It's not. Giving them a clean needle or an injection site or God forbid, in some of these cities, I think it was like Portland, they're like, maybe we should just hand out the heroin ourselves so we know we're giving them a safe amount. That's not how you're going to fix this problem. You fix it by forcing the bottom. That's what this administration is doing. You can go to treatment or you can go to jail. This is common sense.
Again, these are pre-existing laws that are already on the books. They have not been enforced, which is part of the reason for this federalizing of the National Guard to bring in this assistance for law enforcement. While we are targeting criminals and trying to remove criminals off of the streets, we also want to make DC safe and beautiful, and that involves removing mentally disturbed individuals and homeless encampments as well. So we will be using these regulations and code that already exists to clean up our streets.
I love how they always use the laws that are already on the books. You know, this administration's like, there's already a law for that. It just turns out that the Democrats, when they were in power, decided not to enforce any of this. We don't need to make new laws. We need to enforce the ones that are there. That's really, I mean, it's as simple as that. It shouldn't be that simple. Like you almost wish that it was a little bit more complicated. So that way you wouldn't be like, oh, no, this is just a dereliction of your duty. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at you have dropped the ball in such a profound way that all we have to do is go back to what we were doing before. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But the National Guard is now roaming the streets of D.C. We're seeing multiple videos coming out of D.C. where the National Guard, they're ootin' a boot, if you will, and they're patrolling. They're patrolling. And I say good. I saw a video, but this was on my way in. Spoiler, I shouldn't have been looking at it. I was driving. Anyway, on my way in, I see this video. My friend Aaron sent it to me. And it's National Guard troops. And they're talking to local citizens. And they're like, hey, guys, sorry, you can't smoke weed on the streets anymore. I know it's legal here recreationally. But you can't do it out in public. You can't drink on the streets anymore. It's just not going to be allowed. And now this National Guard soldier, man, he was really cool with the locals. He wasn't being a jerk at all. He was just breaking it down for him that things are changing around here. There's a new sheriff in town. We're going to enforce the laws that are on the books. Again, I saw this last night and this morning. It happened last night, and I thought the National Guard troops were very reserved and very good with the locals. They didn't come in heavy-handed. They were very chill about the entire thing.
How y'all doing today? Y'all staying in that trouble? You got your ID on you, chick?
No, I live right here.
Okay, cool.
It's a cigarette.
All right. How's your mind?
Did y'all get a call or something about right here?
No, so we're doing checks, keeping everybody safe down here, right? Have you heard of the federal surge that Donald Trump's putting out?
No.
Right. You don't follow it?
He said no. Come on, son. Come on. You heard about that? No. Okay. There's a couple instances here where I'm gonna point out this guy knows exactly what's going on, but he's playing coy.
No. 03, anything like that people are putting up. All right, so yeah, Trump's got all federal agencies kind of coming together, 7 days of going out, trying to stop the violent crime, all kind of stuff. So we're out here contacting people, talking to them, right? Quality of life offenses, smoking, drinking in public, right? Can't happen outside, right? Most people know that. So we're contacting people, trying to advise them of the law so they learn, right? And then if there's other stuff going on where it turns into there's multiple agencies of somebody, there's shooting and things like that. So there's extra hands available, right? So we're just out here trying to inform people and educate people. It's not like we're trying to just go grab people and ruin someone's life over a joint.
I love that. And listen, we're just out here trying to inform people, let them know what's going on, tell them what time it is. We're not trying to ruin your life over a joint. But you hear these guys, oh, I had no idea. And I chuckled. This video goes on. He's like, yeah, you can't smoke weed outside. He's like, oh, I had no idea. It's like, no, you knew. And if you've ever been in an inner city, you can find the criminals around there. I'll tell you what. They know the law better than some lawyers because they've got a lot of experience in the legal system. Now, you can say what you want with that, but it's just the reality of the matter. They're very aware of what the law is, and they knew that they weren't supposed to be smoking weed outside. The difference is nobody thought to enforce this in D.C. until now. Things are changing, and things are changing quick. I'm a huge fan of this. Huge fan. Nobody's trying to ruin your life over a joint. Just take it inside. We're worried about quality of life stuff. You want to do that on your own time? By all means. You can't be pissed drunk outside. You can't be stoned outside. We're not going to take it anymore. New sheriff in town. Huge fan. We're also seeing more developments with the National Guard. A rapid response network. Is that on the way? I'll tell you about it next. It's 9:51. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock store. You know the Glock store. I know the Glock store. It's the best. But Do you know what's new at the Glock store? I'll tell you. It's C-cuts. C-cuts are short for compensator cuts. These are little slots that are going to get cut into the barrel and the slide that will redirect some of that bullet blast upwards into a V pattern. And this is going to help you stay on target by reducing muzzle flip. It's going to lessen the recoil. And these cuts are identical to the ones that were offered in the high-end Gen 3 compensated Glocks, but haven't been available in the latest models. That is, until now. You see, the Glock store will compensate your Glock in 10 days or less, and you'll end up with a flatter shooting gun with less recoil. This is incredible. And if you want to try before you buy, well, the Glock store has you covered. Just buy a sample bullet pack. It's only $6.99, and you can shoot your choice of a C-cut Glock 17, 19, 43X. There's a big difference in all the models, but that 43X with a C-cut, man, it is simply amazing. Don't forget to bring your Glock or just the barrel and slide. You're going to want to start those 10 days sooner than later. That's the Glock store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, and always open online, glockstore.com.
The Voice is calling for Nashville's school superintendent to step down. And a hiker bitten by a snake dies in Grundy County. That's coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. 9:58. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Hey, how are you? Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Keep up with me everywhere. I'm on all the social medias, except for Facebook. But I'm on Instagram, Twitter, True Social, YouTube, and TikTok, begrudgingly. At Chris Hand on air. Hit the follow button. I'll follow back. So a lot of people are saying that they're very upset about what's going on in D.C. You're seeing a lot of protests popping up. Got some news on who might be funding those protests, and I don't think that they're organic in any way. I think the organic vibe that you're getting out of D.C. is many residents are actually grateful for what's going on, and you're seeing it in the most random places where you wouldn't think to see this. MSNBC, of all places, you got Joe Scarborough praising Donald Trump for what he's been doing, and you got rando reporters getting on there saying, man, D.C. is such a mess. This is needed. This happened on MSNBC this morning.
I live in Washington. This is personal for me. Many people are frustrated with crime that we see, particularly committed by juveniles in the city of Washington. People are frustrated, Willie, that when they go to CVS to buy deodorant, that they have to get it from behind locked plexiglass, right? But the response here, and let me say this, right? These are not just random anecdotes. What we see in Washington Post polling, among others, is that roughly half of D.C. residents, mostly half of D.C. view this as a serious problem or an extremely serious problem.
Everybody knows what time it is in D.C., yet you are seeing these protests pop up. Wonder who could be behind those. Well, I have a bit of info on who's behind the protests, and should more pop up across the country, Donald Trump and his administration making contingency plans with a rapid response National Guard network. We're going to talk about both those things on the way. A lot more to cover. Hang out with us. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 10 o'clock now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A flood watch in effect for parts of the mid-state until 7 o'clock this evening after a morning of heavy rain. In Chattanooga, a mother, father, and their child were all killed when a tree fell on their car during heavy rain and flooding last night. This happened just after midnight. Emergency management officials saying that the tree the ground was saturated, uprooting that tree. In other news, President Trump is set to sit down on Friday with Russia's Vladimir Putin with the goal of ending the war in Ukraine. But if Putin is ready to put his arms down, there's no sign of that right now.
A bold new Russian offensive. Video circulating online showing an explosion and plumes of smoke as Russia advances into a Ukrainian stronghold in the east. This comes as officials confirm that today Ukrainian President Zelensky and European allies will meet virtually with President Trump and Vice President Vance.
ABC's Martha Raddatz there. The search for a missing 10-year-old in Kentucky is over now. The body of Jaden Spicer has been discovered in a shallow grave after a week-long search for the boy. Channel 4's Alexandria Adams.
Kentucky State Police saying that they received some new information that led them to him and pointed to involvement from his mother, Felicia Gross, who has now been charged with manslaughter, abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and false reporting. Police have not said how Spicer died.
Some heated exchanges at last night's Metro School Board meeting. Some parents there calling for the resignation of the superintendent, Adrian Battle. This comes after a $6 million lawsuit was settled with former employees who said that Battle discriminated against them. These parents took the microphone last night to say that that money could have been better spent.
As a taxpayer, as someone who cares deeply about our schools, I can't help but to think about where the money could have gone and who it could have served. Our exceptional education students, and as an exceptional education parent, some of our most vulnerable in Metro Public Schools. They need more than the bare minimum.
The schools deny any wrongdoing. Don't expect the downtown parking garage at the public library to become available anytime soon. Structural engineers are still at work. They cannot say when the repairs will be finished after an explosion and fire earlier this summer. We're learning that fire reached 2,000 degrees, causing the concrete to crumble. Engineers are also not saying how much the repairs will cost. And a hiker in South Middle Tennessee has died after being bitten by a rattlesnake. This happened at Savage Gulf State Park. The Grundy County EMA saying that man was on a trail in the park on Friday afternoon. Friends tell responders that the man had picked up the snake when he was bitten on the hand. That is the latest news. We've got weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We're live on iHeartRadio. Tune in, the FM dial. You can also watch the show, Super Talk TV. That's on Rumble and YouTube. Hit like and subscribe. I got a lot of kids, a lot of birthdays on the way, and all those likes are leading to great birthday gifts for the kids. Did I tell you what I'm doing for my my son, his birthday's coming up in the 28th, so like 2 weeks.
What you doing for this one?
We're road tripping to Atlanta for a Braves game.
Dude, I did that with my dad a couple of times. You guys are going to go to the new park, of course.
Yes.
It's an awesome trip.
Yes, we wouldn't go to the old park.
You would, what was it, Turner Field? That was the old stadium.
So my oldest, he's been to a baseball game. We took him to Fenway, but he was like 18 months. So this is like officially his first baseball game. So we're very, very excited. He has no idea about it. I double checked with the wife. I was like, he's not listening, right? I don't want to spoil it. But like baseball season kicked off. We got a Little League game tonight in Murfreesboro. So he's like, I want my theme to be baseball. I was like, say no more.
You got to take him to the varsity too. Obligatory.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What's that?
You don't know what the varsity is?
Never heard of it.
Oh man, it's like
I've never spent any time in Atlanta other than the airport.
So it's like a old school car hop diner. It's massive. They do like chili dogs, chili burgers. Oh yeah,
right. Sign me
milkshakes.
Say no more.
Exactly.
We also hit up Pals, by the way, on the way home from Virginia the other week.
Oh yeah.
We got the chili dogs there too.
We got to drive Dan out there so he can settle his in and out debate.
Yeah, we gotta. All right, so hit like and subscribe. Help me get some good birthday gifts for my kids. Appreciate it. Otherwise, I mean, I'm done. I got nothing else for them. That's it. I mean, it's already pretty good, but hit like and subscribe. We're talking about the protests in D.C., these organic rallies that have, it's really just locals who are upset about Donald Trump being an authoritarian, then a dictator, and a tyrant, and federalizing the police force, right? There's nothing weird going on behind these rallies, right? You remember we played this on the show a couple days ago as it was happening in real time. This is what an organic protest in D.C. sounds like.
Great. The president has been trying to provoke violence here, right here, in the black communities and in the brown communities, having ICE kidnap our neighbors, having the black community be harassed and profiled and want a response.
First of all, Donald Trump doesn't need to provoke violence in these communities. Y'all got it covered. Sorry. Spoiler alert. It's already there. It was there during Biden. It was there before the first Trump term. Y'all have been doing a great job. Donald Trump doesn't need to provoke anything. Secondly, disappearing our neighbors. You mean violent gang members and rapists and murderers that snuck into our country illegally. I called them terrorists. You call them neighbors. Got it. This is an organic protest we're supposed to believe.
We say, hell no, we won't go. When we say we won't go, that means we're not going into those mass incarceration, into their prisons and enslavement. We won't go into their ICE, what do you call his beautiful centers that he got. We won't go to where alligators live.
No, we're not going to where them gators live. No. So you would think this has got to be locals. This has got to be organic. There's nothing weird about this. Fun fact. No, there's left-wing dark money mega donors, including George Soros, contributing to these groups protesting Trump's D.C. crackdown, specifically contributing $20 million. Now, you would think with a budget of $20 million, you could hire somebody, I don't know, a bit more eloquent than this lady here. Possible. I would have hired someone a bit more eloquent.
Oh, go.
Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go.
Today we gather to speak plainly about policy path that sounds strong, but in truth, it weakens the very safety we seek. We believe there is a better way to protect us all. One that respects rights to build trust and keep our communities truly safe, and that is fascism-free.
Yeah, fascism-free. Fascism-free. Now, again, if I'm spending left-wing billionaire oligarch money, I would hire someone who could read personally. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe this is how you make it seem the most organic. But we're learning now via the New York Post that several lefty dark money organizations, including George Soros, contributed more than $20 million to these groups funding protests against Trump's crackdown on crime in D.C. Free D.C., that's what you're hearing here. Free D.C., they're very worried about fascism. Free D.C. is a fiscally sponsored project of progressive nonprofits, Community Change, and Community Change Action. It brought 150 demonstrators near the White House on Monday, where you heard them yelling about fascism, and they were protesting Trump's plan to deploy the National Guard. Do not obey in advance and take up space are among Free DC's guiding principles, and the group urges supporters to go outside at 8 o'clock at night and bang pots and pans, sing, chant, or make noise for 5 minutes every night of this occupation. This is how you win over favor with your neighbors. 100%. 100%. Free DC has scheduled multiple events since this protest that you just heard, the anti-fascism protest. They've scheduled many, many more, including a cop watch training, suggesting further protests are planned amid Trump's efforts to make D.C. the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful city in the world by ramping up law enforcement efforts and removing homeless encampments. The leftists are funding this. Do you think the residents are really like, please, leave the illegal aliens and the homeless where they are? I like stepping over needles and poop. It's like, no, of course not. Of course not. What we're learning is that community change and community change action, these are the groups bankrolling Free DC's activism campaign, and they've been the beneficiaries of millions of dollars in donations from, well, you guessed it, George Soros and his Open Society Foundations and Tides Foundation, as well as the dark money Arabella Advisors Network, according to an analysis shared with the New York Post. They say, it's ironic that a protest ostensibly Free DC was hosted by Community Change, a group funded by massive amounts of outside dark money to push a pro-crime agenda. Caitlin Sutherland, the executive director of a nonprofit watchdog, Americans for Public Trust, said in a statement, DC's facing shootings, carjackings, assaults, and yet progressive groups like the Pritzker Foundation, George Soros, and the Arabella Network spend millions of dollars to manufacture protests that weaken communities. And make no mistake about it, this is weakening the community. This is not organic, even though they would like you to believe it. I know. This is not organic.
About policy path that sounds strong, but in truth, it weakens the very safety we seek. We believe there is a better way to protect us all. One that respects rights to build trust and keep our communities truly safe, and that is fascism-free.
Well, in 2023 alone, to stop the spread of fascism, Community Change and Community Change Action received $4 million from Soros's Open Society Foundations, $680,000 from the Arabella Network, and $145,000 from the Tides Foundation. Listen, guys, it's not cheap to stop the spread of fascism.
One that respects rights to build trust and keep our communities truly safe, and that is fascism-free.
Arabella Advisors, a Washington, D.C.-based consulting firm, manages several funds that finance left-wing groups, including the 1630 Fund, the Windward Fund, the New Venture Fund, which have all given money to Community Change and Community Change Action since 2020. Similarly, Open Society Foundation and Tides Foundation and Tides Advocacy, part of the Billionaires Tide Network, are far-left grant-making organizations. Now, between 2020 and 2023, Community Change and Community Change Action received $12.6 million from George Soros's Open Society Foundations, $5.6 million from the Arabella Network, and $1.9 million from the Tides Network under numerous grants labeled for such purposes as civil rights, social action, advocacy, and social welfare activities. Additionally, Community Change received $1 million across 2021 and 2022 from Future Forward USA Action. That's a Democrat Party-aligned super PAC with affiliated Future Forward PAC, one of the major political groups that backed Kamala Harris, maybe you've heard of her, in the 2024 election. So it's not an organic protest. I'm a little disappointed, to be honest with you. I wanted that to be real. It's not. It's all fake. All fake. Let's go to Bobby in Nashville. What's up, Bobby?
Hey, brother. I want to say this, like I always do. You guys do a fabulous job. Just keep up the good work. But I want to run this by you real quick. Won't take too much of your time.
All right. What
you know how Bernie and his boys and his girls, they always get up there and talk about oligarchy and all this type of stuff about the billionaires. Well, you know, you got to look at it this way. Where are they getting their money? That's where they're getting their money. Okay, and another thing about the lady up there in Washington, D.C., you know, she's up there hollering about profiling the blacks and the browns and all that. She needs to look it up and realize the blacks and the browns is the ones that's glad Donald Trump sent the guard in. So what's your take on it, my friend?
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. It's people in those communities that are feeling that violence and that crime every single day. I'm going through Twitter last night, and there was a reporter who lived in D.C., and he's like, I'd have to track this guy down to verify the story, and it would take a while. He's like, but back in 2021, he had sold a car to somebody in D.C., and he was like, hey, can you drop it off? I don't have plates. And he's like, it's kind of a sketchy neighborhood. He's like, but the guy seemed really nice on the phone, so yeah, we'll do it for him. And he said that when they walked into the house, they noticed everybody in the house in this D.C. neighborhood, sketchy neighborhood, they're all down in the basement. And he's like, that's weird. He's like, what? What's going on? He's like, everything's down in the basement. The refrigerator, they got hot plates down in the basement. They're all sleeping down in the basement. And he eventually says, why is everybody in the basement? And the response was, because people get shot catching strays through their windows and their walls. And that's not something we want to do. So the wife, the kids, and everybody, we do most of our living in the basement. Yeah, the people in these communities understand the reality of these communities. 100%. It's this dark money, left-wing, George Soros-funded protest coming in, trying to say, no, everything's fine, everything's fine. The residents know what time it is. Let's go to Andrew on the road. What's up, Drew?
What's up, man? Appreciate your show. Love it. I wanted to go back to that topic about what DC's doing with the homeless, what they plan on doing.
Yes, sir.
I was a former addict of crack, cocaine, meth, ecstasy, ketamine, and weed. And I realized that enabling people only keeps them right above rock bottom.
Yep.
On the road as a truck driver, I encounter a lot of homeless people. I engage with them, and I'm not scared to. I give them crackers. I offer them water. But most of the time, they don't want that. They want you to enable them to stay off, to continue their addictions. And there would be far less homeless people out there, bottom line, if people out here would stop giving them money, point them to the Nashville Rescue Mission, which is what I do every time. And 90% of the people say, no, I don't want that. And I say, well, God bless you. Have a good time on the streets. That's your choice. That's your freedom. But don't encamp on our properties and expect us to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's your choice. And I love it that they have a choice in this country to be homeless. But don't expect us to pay for your addictions, period. Stop giving them money.
You got to force the bottom. And in some of these cities, man, and I don't know the specifics on D.C. in particular, but in a lot of these big blue cities, they're enabling them. They're giving out the syringes. They're giving out the crack pipes. They're giving them free safe injection sites. It's like you're not helping them by enabling. You have to force the bottom, and that's what the Trump administration is doing.
I agree completely. I mean, we've seen enough shows of the intervention when parents and brothers, when they see like they're helping them, what they're actually doing is just extending their problem, extending the problem more. And just people in the Nashville area, stop giving them money. If you want to help them, put crackers and water in your car and point them to the Nashville Rescue Mission, where there is help for those people to get on their feet and make a fresh start. But point of the matter is they don't want that fresh start, bro.
Exactly. Dude, you're so right. I mean, I lived in Detroit, and there's a farmer's market like right in downtown Detroit. It's called Eastern Market. It's one of the best farmers market that I've ever been to. Like, I actually really did love living in Detroit. But there was a homeless guy. It was like, we're leaving the farmer's market and it says, hungry, anything will help. And I remember my wife, who has like the biggest heart in the world, she's like, just give him some apples. And I was like, okay, we'll give him some apples. Like, that's great. And we have a little girl in the back seat. And we're like, we'll show like, we're good people and like set a good example. Man, we're driving away after giving that guy apples. Hungry, anything can help. Anything will help on the sign. I see him throw them over the overpass. I'm like, that's the last time that I'm ever going to help one of these individuals. Because to your point, they don't want that help. They want money to go buy drugs.
Exactly. And I was there too. And what the Bible says is if you have given a cup of cold water, you have given it in my name. You've given it to Jesus. It didn't say anything about give them a denarius or give them gold or give them silver. Give them help. All you're doing is just keeping the problem proliferant, and you're not helping the system by creating more homelessness by giving them $5 or $10. And people are so scared these days. They'll wait till the light is green, crack their light, their window, and give them the money, and then everybody catches a red light. I'm like, engage with these people. They're not going to attack you.
Yeah. So how long have you been clean, Andrew?
I've been clean for 12 years, and I'm in prison ministry. I teach youth. I do a podcast, and I just, I'm trying to share what God can bring you from if you just keep him first and foremost in your life.
That's awesome, man. I love that story. God won't waste your pain. What's the name of your podcast in case somebody wants to check you out?
The name of my podcast is Humbled Highs. I wrote a book, From Kingpin to Kingdom. It's all about my story of how I used to be a drug dealer. I really appreciate you giving me a voice, brother.
Man, I appreciate you sharing your story, dude, and congratulations on the sobriety, dude. It's hard to do, but the steps work if you work them, man.
God bless you.
Hey, God bless you. It's 10:23. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. And if you're tired of back pain, neck pain, knee pain ruining your life, well, listen up, because this could change everything for you, and it's not going to break the bank. All you need is $12. It's called the Big Daddy Trump Special from the Wellness Institute of Nashville, and that $12 is going to get you a full exam, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment. You heard me right. All of that for only $12. See, Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, they're not going to give up on you. They're not going to give up on fixing your pain, just like Donald Trump never gave up on America. Their patients say it all the time. Why didn't I come here first? And you might say that too, but hopefully, you call the Wellness Institute of Nashville first. Whether it's back pain, neck pain, sciatica, numbness, bulging discs, they'll treat it all, and they'll do it without surgery, without injections, and without painkillers. What they're going to use is non-surgical spinal decompression, robot lasers, and even anti-gravity machines. So grab your MRI and get ready to finally understand your condition and fix it. 615-246-5009 is the number to call. That's 615-246-5009. You can always find them online, painisbad.com.
watch for more rain and possibly flooding in the Nashville and the Chattanooga areas today. And a small town in western Tennessee votes to bring an ice facility into town. That and more coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. She prefers to be called Joni Joan. Speak up if you have something to say about that, Joan. Oh, she's fine with it. She's fine with it. She's good with that. She's good with that. I got a couple people I want to call and talk about DC. 615-737-9986. Let's start with Carl in the borough. What's up, Carl?
Hey there, Chris.
How you doing,
real
man?
quick. Fine, man. I just wanted to say, you said something that made me think of, I think it's an animal farm that in communism, everybody's equal except some are more equal than others.
Yep.
It's been a long time since I read that, but it made me think about DC is safe, Detroit's safe, Washington's safe, Los Angeles safe, except some are more safe than others.
It's true.
These are the ones that are in the night. Georgetown, they say, is nice in Washington, D.C. Gated communities. There's nothing wrong with these things except they are insulated from, like, I'll just use Nashville, Tennessee. As long as it stays in South Nashville, with illegal immigration, for example.
Yep.
As long as it's there, it's not affecting me.
Yep.
And they don't realize that all the citizens that live in South Nashville are harmed. Maybe their property values or crime is bad out that way. So it's just kind of like everybody's safe, except some are more safe than others.
Yeah, I
That's
love
my little analogy.
I love the call, Carl, and I appreciate you, man. 615-737-9986. Simone Sanders was on MSNBC yesterday and essentially echoing the same thing that Carl was just explaining.
You don't think more police make streets safer?
No, Joe. I'm a black woman in America. I do not always think that more police make streets safer. When you walk down the streets of Georgetown, you don't see a police officer on every corner, but you don't feel unsafe.
Oh, wonder why that is. Don't Google the demographics. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Information fueled, opinion driven. Super Talk 99.7.
WTN. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A flood watch in effect in most of the Nashville listening area. More rain is expected this afternoon. In Chattanooga, nearly 7 inches of rain has caused flooding and water rescues. In nearby East River, an uprooted tree fell on a car, killing 2 adults and a child inside that car. In Texas, a judge has ordered former Congressman Beto O'Rourke to stop raising money for the 54 Democrats who have fled the state to stop a redistricting vote.
After gaveling Tuesday's session to order, Texas House Speaker Dustin Burrows announced
a quorum is not present.
More than 50 Democrats were out of state, blocking a House vote on a district map that could yield 5 more Republicans in Congress. But Burrows has spoken with Governor Greg Abbott.
He is committed to calling us back again and again and again until our work is done.
Sources tell ABC News the absent Democrats will come back to Texas, satisfied that they have at least temporarily stalled the Trump-backed redistricting effort. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
In the small town of Mason, Tennessee, last night, officials voted to approve a plan to turn a former state prison into an ICE facility operated by private company CoreCivic. Officials say reopening that facility will create 240 new jobs and generate more than $500,000 in tax revenue. For the second time in 5 months, thieves have driven Chevy Corvettes right off the parking lot at the Bowling Green Assembly Plant. The latest heist on Friday night. News Channel 5's Chris Davis.
The vets, valued at $230,000 each, were then spotted at this parking garage on Western Kentucky University's campus.
But the drivers took off. One of the cars was found unoccupied in Indiana. Police captured the other driver. Now, in both this heist and the one in March, all of the captured thieves are from Detroit. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
1036, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, you get those at betterwater.com. You can listen to this show anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. Podcasts are always available on Apple and Spotify, and you can watch the show as well. We're on YouTube and Rumble. Those are the big ones. Hit like, hit subscribe, and we appreciate it when you do so. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. Plus, I got a lot of kids to feed, and if you don't want the kids just getting bread and water, we got to get those likes up. I mean, at this point, it's on you. If you just want toast and ice for dinner for the kids, that's I can't do anything more.
Toast and ice.
That's we gussy it up a bit sometimes. We get a little fancy.
Yes, sir.
So
sometimes it's crushed ice.
Sometimes you can use the water as a bit of a dip for the bread. I mean, there's options. It's not like the kids are going hungry.
That's true, and they are hydrated.
But if we get some more likes, I mean, maybe we can toss in an Uncrustable or something.
Absolutely.
Let me know. Let me know what those likes are looking like. Hit like and subscribe. All right, so I wanted to touch on this real quick. This is we're seeing protests pop up. They're worried about the community and they're worried about fascism. So we found out that these protests are being financed by George Soros, Jorge Soros. And George, he fancies a good protest. And when he starts funding protests, sometimes the Brick Fairy shows up, It's like if you're a good boy and girl all year long and you're really fighting the power and you say your prayers, the Brick Fairy might pay you a visit and you get pallets of bricks dropped on the corners. So that's obviously within the realm of possibility. Donald Trump is in office. Now, it's less of a possibility. We've seen a lot of funding cut to a lot of different organizations. Shout out to Rubio, talking USAID, all the things. But we are anticipating protests at some point, right? I think that's kind of baked into the cake. That at some point, somewhere, these radical leftists who don't have jobs are going to find a good area to protest. Well, Trump and the Pentagon have a plan for that, and that is the National Guard Force for Rapid Deployment to fight civil unrest in American cities. The troops would be split into two groups of 300 soldiers. They're going to be stationed in Arizona and in Alabama under this plan. And the gist of it is, so should something pop off, we have a rapid response deployment team to quell any civil unrest. Now, this is huge because what we saw during the Summer of Love was many, many governors, shout out to Tim Walz, sitting on their hands, not deploying the National Guard while their cities were burned to the ground. While small businesses were absolutely ravaged, while those bricks from the Brick Fairy were put to good use by peaceful protesters. So I like this a lot. You've seen in some of these cities, they haven't rebuilt at all. I mean, you look at Minneapolis, you have a hard time distinguishing it from Somalia when you look at the downtown area. It's terrible. It's awful. And we shouldn't allow this to happen in this country. Donald Trump and his administration are saying, yeah, we won't. And so they were reportedly weighing plans to create a reaction force of National Guard troops that would be deployed to the cities across the country during times of civil unrest. I got this story from the Post Millennial, originally reported by the Washington Post. The Post reviewed internal documents from the Pentagon that Domestic Civil Disturbance Quick Reaction Force would see 600 troops placed on standby at all times so that they could be deployed to areas across the country in as little as an hour. Unbelievable. Think about what could have been saved in so many cities during the Summer of Love if we had a rapid response National Guard team that could have been there in an hour. It would have saved lives. You would have saved businesses. You would have saved communities. So this is big. The troops are going to be split into two groups. 300 soldiers would be stationed at bases in Arizona and Alabama. Cost projections included in the documents reportedly suggested that the proposal could cost hundreds of millions of dollars. And you're going to see a lot of hand-wringing by the left on that. We don't have the money for this, hundreds of millions of dollars. And I would just say the cost to rebuild these cities was in the billions with a B. And that's if they got rebuilt. I mean, the damage was unbelievable. So the cost effectiveness of it, I think, is there. Now, if military aircraft and air crews are also needed to be placed on standby, it could get a little bit pricier, but again, it's going to be worth it. The documents noted, though, that transporting troops via commercial airlines would be cheaper. Fiscal year 2027 would be the earliest the program is created and funded if approved. The plan mirrors a similar one implemented ahead of the 2020 election, in which 600 troops were placed on standby in Arizona and Alabama following the weeks of rioting across the country in the wake of George Floyd's death. This comes as Trump has deployed troops to various cities across the nation since the start of his second term, including the southern border, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. One action memo within the documents obtained by the outlet dated July 22nd recommended that Army, military, police, and Air Force security forces go through additional training for the missions. The proposal includes a rotation of troops from Army and Air Force National Guard units based in Alabama, Arizona, California, Illinois, Maryland, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North Carolina, North Dakota, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and the great state of Tennessee. Of the 300 troops stationed in one location, the first 100 would be outfitted with weapons and riot gear and be ready to move within an hour, while the next two waves of 100 would each be ready to move within 2 and 12 hours notice, or all could be deployed at once. This is a breaking story and one that we're going to pay attention to. I got another breaking story here for you. We talked about this a little bit. You know, the alligator Alcatraz.
Oh, yeah.
Love that. Love the name. The Speedway Slammer. Fantastic. It's just, it rolls off the tongue. And I asked this audience, what would we call an immigration facility in Tennessee? And you guys had the best answers, as you always do, on the text line and in the YouTube chat. I think the one we landed on, and you let me know if this was yours because I forget which listener sent it in, but the one we landed on that was our favorite was the Graceland Gulag. The Graceland Gulag. It just flows.
That's amazing.
It's going to really solicit some salt from the left because of the disappearing and the gulags. But we may see this turn into a reality sooner rather than later, and I am a huge, huge fan. Graceland Gulag, incoming.
The town of Mason approved contracts with both ICE and the Tennessee-based private prison company CoreCivic. Mason is about 45 miles north of Memphis, and it's the site of the West Tennessee Detention Facility. The CoreCivic-owned prison closed several years ago. Now it's going to reopen as an ICE detention facility housing undocumented immigrants.
Please call it the Graceland Gulag. Please. Please, please, please. Is Graceland trademarked? Check and see if Graceland's trademarked.
I'm on it.
We can unofficially name it that too. Like, you know, if they can't put it on the sign, well, then we can call it that anyway. You know, just like with the Music City Loop and the BNA hole. You know, it is the BNA hole now.
It is trademarked, but I think get around it by spacing the words Grace and Land out instead of having to be one
Sam
word.
for the win. It's Grace Land Gulag.
Brilliant.
I love it. I love it. All right, so we could be getting this sooner rather than later. The Tennessee Conservative has more specifics. It is a private prison company. Not a huge fan, but I think that the ends justify the means in this situation because we need to get these illegal aliens out. Special meeting called in Mason with a population of approximately 1,300, located 45 minutes northeast from the city of Memphis, Tennessee, in Tipton County. They're discussing the possibility of reopening that facility to be used for immigration, customs, and enforcement. At least at issue were two separate contracts, one between Mason Township and ICE, and another between the municipality and longtime Tennessee prison contractor CoreCivic. The now closed West Tennessee Detention Facility in Mason has been owned by CoreCivic since 1990. The prison was closed in 2021 after the Biden administration canceled contracts with private prison contractors. Tennessee Conservative broke all of this down. Tennessee Conservative is a great outlet if you're looking for good conservative news. The executive order that former President Joe Biden signed in January 2021 forbid the Attorney General from renewing any contracts between the Justice Department and privately owned criminal detention facilities. The contract between the U.S. Marshals Service and CoreCivic that was responsible for the operation of Mason's facility expired months later at the end of September. So then the roughly 500 prisoners that were being held at the prison were transferred over to the Shelby County Jail, while West Tennessee Detention Facility staff were given the chance to transfer to other prisons under CoreCivic's supervision. In an effort to keep the prison open, after the contract ended, Tipton County Executive Jeff Huffman and representatives from Core Civic attempted to turn the facility into what is once again being proposed in 2025 at the town level instead of county. In 2021, the county might have been enriched to the tune of $200,000 a year had they signed a contract with ICE and with Core Civic, who would have resumed operating the facility. Ever since the federal government said no to that plan, the prison in Mason has sat empty. Its closing had a significant impact on the town of Mason, which collected property tax from Core Civic. Approximately 2/3 of the township's sewer revenue came from that facility. A new ICE facility is not only going to positively impact the country, but as you can see here with how much money the town was making off it, it's going to positively impact this community. Huge win, net positive, Graceland Gulag. Who says no? I can't find anybody that would say no.
YouTube chat saying, or Possum Prison, the 10 pen.
I heard the Volunteer Vault was a good one.
Ooh, Volunteer Vault's
rolled
a good
off
one.
the tongue. It's just something special. Something
Need that alliteration.
There's something magical about the Graceland Gulag.
You could also have "Don't Step on My Blue Suede Shoes" playing as they walk in.
Ooh, I like it. Let's go to Dave in Hohenwald. What's up, Dave? Just want to talk about the National Guard. What do you got?
Yeah, well, not about the National Guard, but using the National Guard for in different cities and things.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate much of what President Trump has done, but I think it's a very dangerous precedent to begin using the military against the citizenry. I would like to see the president maybe encourage local sheriffs to deputize people, men within the community, because people are a lot less apt to do things against their own people than out-of-town strangers. It's sort of an inanimate object, you know, oh, I don't know who that person is, but when it's a friend, a family member, or whatever, I think it's much more effective and could shut things down. And just as a note, Mason, Tennessee is also famous for Gus's Fried Chicken. If you've ever heard of Gus's Fried Chicken, that's where it started.
All right, good to know. Well, but I would ask you with the National Guard, right? And I get your concerns. I really do. But if they're going after somebody throwing a brick or a Molotov cocktail, does it matter if they're a member of the community?
I think it's dangerous to set using the military against the citizenry. I think we need to find a local solution to doing that.
But if the local officials are refusing to call in the National Guard, if the local officials are telling police to stand down, and the end result is an entire city block being burned up like we saw during the Summer of Love, does that change your calculation at all?
Well, I'm going to add this. The sheriff doesn't have to answer to the local officials. The sheriff only answers to the people that vote him into office. So the sheriffs, not the police, but the sheriff's departments could deputize people and do that without permission from, let's say, the local county commission or whatever.
What happens when they deputize somebody with a bit of a past and they miss something, and then that individual shoots a protester?
You have the same issue in every law enforcement unit. In every military unit, you have bad apples. I mean, that's just a fact of life.
But if you're deputizing citizens, you don't exactly have the training that you would with the National Guard coming in.
Well, if you do ex-military, former military, I was in the Marine Corps. I mean, you know.
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you. You can take people that have an understanding, and you can have somewhat of a training course for them. But I think the big thing is, people don't want to injure or harm their own people. Even people that want to do evil things, they're less apt. And I think we could do this as a local solution, and I'd rather see the president lend his support by saying, hey, you tell me what resources you need, we will help you, local sheriff's departments, in solving this problem.
Yeah, I mean, but I think you could do two things at once. I think you could do both of those things. And then should a city devolve into chaos like we saw in Minneapolis, like we saw, I mean, geez, go down the list, every city, during the Summer of Love, you could deploy those National Guard units.
I would encourage you to read or look up the Battle of Athens, Tennessee, 1946.
I'm familiar.
I think that's a model right there that could be utilized.
Hey, Dave, listen, man, I appreciate the call, and I love a good disagreement. Thank you so much. Let's go to Brian in Madison. What's up, Brian?
What's up, man? I don't know if I want that guy in the Marine Corps. You know what Trump said back in the Summer of Love? Nobody talks about this much, but he said, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. But we didn't follow through with it. So it doesn't do any good to put these bad guys on notice if we're not going to do something. And I'm not for killing people, but they kill people every day. We're seeing more and more of it, where people are just shooting innocent people, and nobody, they chase them forever, and nothing really happens. So I disagree. I think we ought to deploy. My son was a Marine, or is a Marine, and also a local law enforcement officer, and he's for this. So.
I appreciate the insight and the perspective, and I'm with you, Brian. I am, but I didn't think the last caller before that was. I thought he had some good points. It's okay. Like, we can disagree. One more time. I got time for one more call. Let's go to Rod in Petersburg. What's up, Rod?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. What's going on?
Oh, hey, you mentioned like and follow so your kids can eat Crustables.
Yeah, some
so.
Uncrustables.
Also, what was the other one? I can't remember what the other one was.
Well, tell you what. If the Uncrustables rubbed you the wrong way, if you go over to the YouTube page, Rod, and you hit like and you subscribe, I'll get him a ribeye tonight. Sound good?
Sounds
All right, brother.
good.
All right, it's 10:53. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. And if you're tired of health insurance that feels like you're taking a math test, confusing percentages, surprise bills, fine print that bites back, well, you need to talk to Shane Ring. He's going to make it simple for you. Cover Nash is a brand new nationwide PPO plan that will give you the freedom to pick your own doctor anywhere in the U.S. with no referrals and no red tape. Listen to this. Just a $250 deductible, a flat $50 copay for any doctor, even specialist. If you're having an outpatient surgery, it's a $250 copay. Hospital stays, just $1,000 total. Free preventative care, colonoscopies, mammograms, physicals, because it's ACA compliant. And here's the kicker. No surprise bills, no hidden fees, just real protection from real providers. And if that's not the perfect fit for you, well, Cover Nash works with over 75 different top-rated insurance companies, and they'll find something that works for your budget and your needs. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call Shane Ring. 615-465-0023. That's 615-465-0023. Cover Nash, making health insurance simple. Finally, online, covernash.com.
Well, we've got a tragic story out of Chattanooga about a tree and a family, and we've learned more about that hiker who died after getting bit by a rattlesnake in southern Middle Tennessee. He tried to pick it up. Details at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's not usually a good idea.
No.
No.
You might say it's a cautionary tale we've got coming up for you.
All right, Ken Weaver's on the way with headlines. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. On the way, we'll talk a little more immigration. You know, I'm getting excited. The almonds are activated. Graceland Gulag incoming. Colorado, they're getting a new immigration detention center as well. And while we're sending a lot of illegal aliens out, we're taking a few back. Huh. It's actually a good thing. I'll explain it on the other side of the headlines with Ken Weaver. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's 11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the forecast coming up here in just 5 minutes. Already some very heavy rain in parts of Middle Tennessee. We'll let you know if there's going to be more. Ginger Z is telling us what might be headed this way out of the Atlantic Ocean.
As it hugs that Bermuda high, the closer it gets to Bermuda, the farther it is from the East Coast. We want that front to kind of squeeze it between and nobody gets hit. That would be ideal, but we're still more than a week away from that happening. So we'll be watching carefully. There is plenty of fuel out there, 4 to 5 degrees warmer than average in the waters that will go into.
She's talking about Tropical Storm Erin that should become a hurricane in just the next couple of days. Right now in Tennessee, severe weather getting blamed for the death of a family after a tree fell on the parents and a child in Chattanooga. And the search is continuing for a man who is missing there in Chattanooga. I'm sure you've seen the images of the massive flooding there. Rains battering Chattanooga since yesterday, causing the mass flooding and water rescues. And we've learned that the hiker who died after getting bit by a rattlesnake on Friday in Grundy County had picked up the snake and was bitten on the hand. Rattlesnake bites are rare in Tennessee, but Grundy County's Emergency Management Director Matthew Griffith telling News 2 the best thing to do when you encounter a snake is to stay away.
Well, it's probably going to happen, but the best thing to do is try to remain still, calm, back away. Don't try to approach the snake, of course. Keep your distance as much as possible.
Yeah, officials say there are about 50 rattlesnake bites per year in Tennessee. And the Texas House Democrats who ran away to Illinois and New York rather than vote on a redistricting map are reportedly going home. ABC 13 in Houston reporting the Democrats believe they've accomplished their goal, even though they'll face another session when they return. And as tragic and destructive as the Independence Day floods were in Central Texas, they've also uncovered some fascinating reminders of the distant past, as we hear in this report from Jim Ryan.
As the floodwaters receded around Big Sandy Creek north of Austin, a landowner made a discovery.
Three-toed, bird-like tracks.
Previously obscured by brush and silt, but laid bare by the flood. University of Texas paleontologist Matthew Brown.
We think that this probably came from a dinosaur like Acrocanthosaurus, which was a big meat-eating dinosaur.
The challenge now is to preserve the giant footprints while flood recovery efforts begin around them. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Thank you for being a part of the show, however you're a part of the show, whether you're jumping in on the text line or the phone lines at 615-737-9986, or whether you're commenting and weighing in on the YouTube chat or the Rumble chat. We appreciate you guys. Hit like and subscribe if you're watching online, and you're definitely going to want to watch online. I have a video coming up. This woman drove to Alligator Alcatraz, and there's only so much describing I can do on the radio to highlight the crazy eyes. Some things you just have to see on your own. I'm going to play that in a moment. But real quick, an update from Carolyn Levitt on how the southern border's looking.
Staying on the topic of public safety, the Trump administration continues to shatter records on border security. According to brand new numbers released this morning from Customs and Border Patrol, illegal crossings have fallen to all-time lows once again. Here were the records set in July. Again, these numbers were released this morning. The lowest monthly nationwide encounters ever, down nearly 90% from the monthly average under the Biden administration. The lowest monthly Border Patrol apprehensions nationwide ever, smashing the previous record set the prior month in June. The lowest monthly Southwest border apprehensions ever. The lowest daily apprehension average ever, the lowest single-day apprehensions ever. And for the third straight month, there were 0 illegal aliens released into the country. Let me repeat that remarkable statistic. For the third month in a row, not a single illegal alien was released by the Trump administration into the United States of America.
Is that a good thing? I didn't think we were going to be able to do any of this without a bipartisan bill. I thought you couldn't just wave a magic wand and do this. Huh. It's weird how Trump was right. Isn't that weird? Yeah. The southern border is effectively closed. Carolyn Levitt breaking it down for the third month in a row. Not a single illegal alien was released by the Trump administration into the United States of America. Huge win. Donald Trump just dunking on these fools when it comes to the southern border. Now, we do have to get the illegal aliens that are here out, and we're doing that in a myriad of ways. The deportation efforts are underway. We're still ramping up. We're not yet at full strength, but I do want to report that Trump has reduced the illegal alien population in this country by 1.6 million since he took office. That's a big deal. 6 months, 1.6 million. Now, that's a combo of self-deportations and enforcement operations. But that's huge. 1.6 million. That's fantastic. You can leave on your own. You can use the app. You can get yourself a little stipend on the way out, or we can come find you, and you're going to go to a place like the Speedway Slammer, Alligator Alcatraz, or hopefully the Graceland Gulag. One leftist was very upset about Alligator Alcatraz. You know where them gators live? We're not going where them gators live. She wanted to go where the gators live. She drove from Missouri to Alligator Alcatraz to find all the illegal aliens. Now, I made this comment a moment ago. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, check out the crazy eyes on this lady. Have you ever seen like the crazy eye chart on Google?
Yeah.
Okay. She's got way too much white in her eyes underneath the pupil. And that's a huge red flag. Huge red flag. Let's listen to the crazy lady who decided to drive from Missouri to Alligator Alcatraz to find the legal aliens.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I drove from Missouri to Alligator Alcatraz, and I made a bunch of connections there while I was there. And we are hearing from detainees who are communicating with their family members that for the past 48 hours, they have been moving people en masse very quickly. People are watching the cages next to them be completely emptied. They're moving hundreds of people at once, and we were trying to figure out why.
They're sending them home, ma'am. It's a deportation operation. Where are they sending them?
She's not even having to try for your crazy eye point. Like some people have to like open their eyes up.
No, she's just looking.
RBF with some extra big eyes.
Really crazy eyes, right? Like it's not just me.
Yeah, no.
She's got crazy eyes.
I'm crossing the street if I see her.
I would too. If you're watching on YouTube, zoom in on the eyes while she continues her tirade. She goes to Alligator Alcatraz. She's very upset to find out that there's no extended stay program, that you're being shipped out very quickly. This is devastating news to the left.
And they were told today that the facility is closing. We don't know why. We don't know if it's temporary, but people are being scattered across detention facilities across the country. We don't know what's happening to them. They haven't even had the opportunity to have access to legal services yet. I don't know how to track them. They're not showing up on the ICE locator. There's nobody to call. I don't know how to help them. We need help.
Oh.
And we don't know what's going on.
Oh, somebody help them. But we're helping them back home. You drove from Missouri to Florida by yourself. Oh, no, she's got a dog in the back. To find the illegal aliens. What's the game plan? Do you think, like, lady, do you think they're going to go, okay, guys, she's right. Let's let them go. What? What? Despite the crazy eyes, take the crazy eyes out of the situation. She's clearly insane. You think you're going to go down there and like, I'm going to make a difference. No, you're not. You're not. All you're doing is wasting your PTO at whatever HR job you work at, and you need to get back before Monday. Very upset. She is very upset. I can't wait to see what kind of leftist lunatics we attract to the Graceland Gulag. It's going to be a great place for content. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get Bo Diddle and Gabe, and we're going to get them to go out there when the protests inevitably erupt around the Graceland Gulag, and we'll have them report in live.
You should do a mostly peaceful on-site.
Oh, we should.
Yeah.
We should. She's going to have to take another road trip. I mean, she's going to have to take a road trip to the Graceland Gulag. She's also going to have to take a road trip to Colorado, the Rocky Top lockdown, the Rocky Mountains. I don't know. What would you call one in Colorado?
I would say Rocky Mountain. Remember, Rocky Top is here.
Rocky Top is here.
Yeah.
That's right. I was thinking the Rocky Mountains.
It's okay.
My bad. Anyway, how are we letting Colorado get one of these before us?
And a new immigration detention center is going to open in Colorado as the president tries to shore up his immigration enforcement plan.
And the new facility will open in Hudson, about 30 miles northeast of Denver, at a state prison which is currently closed. Let's go live now to Fox 31's Shaw Turner in Hudson tonight with reaction.
You know, I love that they're really using all these prisons that were closed by the Biden administration executive order. It's really poetry in motion what we're seeing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. God won't waste your pain, right? It's like the left will do something so dumb and so evil, but then it creates just an abundance of opportunity for us. Even with stealing the 2020 election, they stole it. They stole it. So, but the silver lining on that is Donald Trump now has more leeway to do more things than he would have in 2020. Do you know what I mean? Like, so even when they try to break us down by doing the most evil, the most egregious kinds of things, we still find a way to use it for good. Isn't it? It's a beautiful thing. This is another one that's been shut down by a Biden executive order that is now going to be transformed into an illegal alien detention center. Thanks, Joe. Do we have the Kamala audio? Joe, we did it. We did it.
Shaw.
Well, ICE tells us they have just run out of room at the Aurora facility after making more arrests so far this fiscal year than in all of 2024.
If they can use it for something good, then I'm good with that.
Amen, brother. Amen. They found a conservative, and they actually featured him on the news. I was a little bit shocked by that, but here we are. Again, President Trump has reduced the illegal alien population in this country already by 1.6 million. We're about 8 months in. That's a huge win. It's not where we need to be when you see some of the estimates. You know, the conservative estimates is 20 million. Others say 30, 40, 50 million illegal aliens. We have a long road ahead of us, but we're getting these people out of the country very fast. Liberals are upset. We are bringing some back, though. Why? What? Why? Well, part of me thinks that this is Mexico saying, please don't bomb us and go after cartels on our soil, because we got a story here. Mexico is sending cartel members to the U.S. 26, to be exact, alleged cartel members are on a one-way trip to the United States as part of a joint crackdown. Mexico's Attorney General and Security Ministry said the handovers were carried out after the U.S. Justice Department pledged not to seek the death penalty. Meh. I mean, you think about these cartel members and the fentanyl that they're bringing into this country. I would think that the death penalty should be on the table publicly, personally. Wood chipper, slow speed, all the things. But that's part of the deal. No death penalty. Okay. So we got 26 alleged leaders and operatives from some of Mexico's most violent criminal organizations. We call them terrorist organizations here in the United States. They're now being handed over to U.S. custody following a coordinated transfer between the two countries, officials confirmed on Tuesday. Now, the move includes Abigail Gonzalez Valencia, described by American authorities as a top figure in Los Quiñas, a cartel faction tied to the Jalisco New Generation cartel, per the Associated Press. Another man, Roberto Salazar, is accused of the 2008 killing of a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy. Mexico's Attorney General and Office and Security Ministry said the handovers were carried out after the U.S. Justice Department pledged not to seek the death penalty. I think they should for the cop killer. Duh. But this marks the second large-scale expulsion of cartel suspects to the U.S. in recent months. It was February when Mexican authorities turned over 29 alleged traffickers, among them Rafael Caro Quintero, convicted in the connection of the 1985 killing of a U.S. DEA agent. The latest transfer comes as Washington increases pressure on Mexico to take stronger action against drug trafficking groups responsible for moving that fentanyl, cocaine, and methamphetamines across the border. The Trump administration has named that cartel, the Jalisco New Generation cartel, a terrorist organization. And we're going to be going after these terrorists. And if Mexico doesn't want us to do it on their soil, they got to turn them over. I think that's part of what's going on here. So I'm a huge fan of this. Throw the book at those guys. Get them as many charges as you can. Now, again, no death penalty. We also saw yesterday the killer in the Rachel Marin case, illegal alien, was sentenced. And he was sentenced to life in prison. This is another case where I think that we should have the death penalty. You took away a mother from her 5 children. It's evil. Pure evil. Rachel Marin's murder took place in the state of Maryland. There's no death penalty in Maryland. Should the U.S. federal government take it over, I bet you that they could figure out a way to charge this individual federally and get the death penalty on the table. That's happened in some cases before. And what was it? The Boston Marathon bombings. It happened in Massachusetts, no death penalty, federally charged, you get the death penalty. I would love to see the death penalty for Rachel Marin's killer, but at least we're seeing justice. And I know Rachel Marin's mother, Patty, who is one of the sweetest women that you'll ever meet. And I was able to give her a hug and thank her for her bravery some months back. And just knowing what she's gone through and knowing how she's had to relive that again and again and again as she told her story, I'm glad to see justice for the family. I think it's a little bit light. The convicted murderer was sentenced on Monday to 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, as well as an additional 40 years. Marin's mother, as well as Marin's children, shared statements prior to his sentencing. The daughter's statement got me, man. It said, before my mom was murdered, the world made sense to me. Life made sense to me. Now my heart is broken. Victor is evil and changed my entire life for the worst. Now I ask you to change his life for the worst. Patty Marin's mother also spoke at the hearing. She said, this is just feet away from her daughter's killer. What person could commit such horrific crimes? This illegal alien was also caught, just for the record, with 53 images of child pornography on his computer. Wood chipper, feet first. Somehow he skates by without the death penalty. Hartford County State's Attorney Allison Healy said in court that some images were of infants and toddlers. I'll do it. Sign me up. The defendant is completely and entirely unamenable to treatment or rehabilitation. If he is released, our community is in grave danger. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Randolph Rice, the Marin's family attorney, told Fox News they share their deep love for her, the irreplaceable void her absence has left in their lives, and their unwavering commitment to honor her memory by seeking justice today and protecting others from the same fate. Speaking with the Marin family as they prepared for sentencing, I noticed palpable sadness. He later added, it's the same heaviness they felt in the weeks after Rachel's body was found in a storm drain of her hometown walking trail 2 years ago. Back then, they were shocked and overwhelmed by the brutality of her rape and murder. Now there's a different type of grief. They're grateful that her killer will die in prison where he can't hurt anyone else. But for Rachel's mother in particular, there's a fear of Rachel's memory fading as this case wraps up in the justice system. Monday's sentencing hearing was the Marin's family's chance to share how this horrific crime has affected their lives and speak directly to the monster who took Rachel. They don't have much hope that he'll understand the impact of his actions, but they appreciate any opportunity they have to share Rachel's legacy. Heartbreaking. And that last line, too, got me. I mean, now that it's over, people move on. And Rachel Marin, that's going to be a name that you might not remember years down the road. What was her name? And that's heartbreaking. And the same could be said about Lake and Riley, and the same could be said about Jocelyn Nungry, and so many other victims of illegal alien crime. Those are the ones that we know about, but there's countless others that didn't exactly make the headlines, and it's just as heartbreaking. Donald Trump is not going to allow this to continue. As we've detailed, 0 illegal aliens released into the country again this month. The deportation effort so far has resulted in 1.6 million decrease in illegal aliens in this country, and this administration is not stopping. For that, we thank them. It's 11:23 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Elon Musk's privately funded tunnel from downtown BNA.
The most cutting-edge transit systems in the world.
They call it the Music City Loop. We call it the BNA hole.
We've submitted a list of questions, and so we're looking forward to the opportunity to get answers.
Questions like, how does a tunnel work? Or how can I be the biggest a-hole in the room without even trying? Because clearly, the fiscally responsible thing to do is to keep traffic backed up until every driver becomes an a-hole. The BNA hole. Zero cost to the taxpayers, and that's the real problem for the left.
I kind of think that's on brand.
Not enough opportunity to play tax collector a-hole. The BNA hole, where progress goes to upset liberals.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
Severe weather blamed for fatalities in Tennessee, and a cautionary tale about what and what not to do when you run across a rattlesnake in Tennessee. Details at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those at betterwater.com. Mason Fleming's back in the building. What's up, Mason?
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Doing better.
Doing better.
Now that I'm here, get to be around you guys, I'm in a better mood.
That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir.
Now we can have some fun.
Yeah, I'm actually in time for the lightning round. Hopefully,
Dude.
I'm on time with my lightning cues.
Let's go.
Let's keep everything going. Can't do that again. I'm clipping that for the lightning round.
It's gonna be fun.
So good.
Donald Trump currently announcing 2025 Kennedy Center honors.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is it the Trump Kennedy Center now? When are they going to do that? I would just rename it. It's the Trump Center.
Just look for him on the roof, dude, and then you'll know.
We're going to put the new sign here.
I'm just taking a look around.
Adding a shine, adding a dome. Who knows? Maybe a water slide.
So good. All right. So he was asked about the federalization of police. Currently, there's a 30-day time limit on the federalization of police, and a reporter wanted to know if Congress is going to act to extend it.
Your federalization of the police has a 30-day limit unless Congress acts to extend it. Are you talking to Congress about extending it, or do you believe 30 days is sufficient?
Well, if it's a national emergency, we can do it without Congress, but we expect to be to Congress before Congress very quickly. And again, we think the Democrats will not do anything to stop crime, but we think the Republicans will do it almost unanimously. So we're going to need a crime bill that we're going to be putting in, and it's going to pertain initially to DC. We're going to use it as a very positive example, and we're going to be asking for extensions on that, long-term extensions, because you can't have 30 days. 30 days that's by the time you do it. We're going to have this in good shape, and don't forget, in the border, everyone said it would take years and you'd have to go back to Congress. I never went to Congress for anything. I just said, close the border. And they closed the border, and that was the end of it. I didn't go back to Congress. We're going to do this very quickly, but we're going to want extensions. I don't want to call national emergency. If I have to, I will. But I think the Republicans in Congress will approve this pretty much unanimously.
Yeah, I would think so as well. And I'm sure that you might see a few Democrats cross the aisle on this one, too. You know, the ones whose staff keeps getting carjacked in D.C., right? Yeah, you would think so. He also talked about the D.C. crime statistics while he's giving out the Kennedy Center honors. And he says the numbers have been completely rigged.
And the numbers are worse than they ever are. Don't let anyone tell you they're not. And the whole statistical charts that they made, the whole thing is a rigged deal. They got rid of the guy because he didn't want to do the numbers the way they wanted to, and they put their own numbers out. They said it's the best in 20 years. No, it's the worst in 20 years. But we're going to be very open about what we're doing. So if the media wants to ride with police, if they want to do it, if they feel it's safe, that would be okay.
Yeah, that's Donald Trump. He's got a lot more to say. We'll bring you some of it in the lightning round on the way. Plus, we got Ken Weaver's headlines starting right now on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. More rain could be on the way today. Got to keep an eye out for some flash flooding. Boy, they've had a time down there in Chattanooga. We've got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Yeah, severe weather blamed for fatalities there in Chattanooga. 3 people, a mother, father, and child killed in East Ridge when a tree fell on their car due to the saturated ground. And Chattanooga Airport says it was the second wettest day in history on Tuesday there in the town. A man is missing after being swept away by floodwaters there in Chattanooga. And Hamilton County still under a local state of emergency. Chicagoans are speaking out about the storm damage they witnessed yesterday.
A lightning strike hit the far tree, and basically it knocked into the other tree and smashed it right into our place.
And wind gusts reach up to 45 miles per hour there in some areas of Chicago yesterday. And back here in Tennessee, we're learning more about that hiker who died after a snake bite on Friday. Authorities say the man was bitten on the hand after he picked up a rattlesnake. Rattlesnake bites are rare in Tennessee, about 50 reported statewide each year, and doctors say they can be dangerous. Right now in Nashville, some parents calling for the resignation of Metro Schools Superintendent Dr. Adrian Battle after a $6 million settlement of a lawsuit brought by former employees who said Dr. Battle retaliated against them for various reasons, including speaking out against her leadership and a controversial lesson plan called Let's Make a Slave. Some parents say that money could have been better spent. They were speaking up at last night's Metro School Board meeting.
As a taxpayer, as someone who cares deeply about our schools, I can't help but to think about where the money could have gone and who it could have served. Our exceptional education students, and as an exceptional education parent, some of our most vulnerable in Metro Public Schools, they need more than the bare minimum.
Now, other parents spoke up in support of Dr. Battle. The school is denying any wrongdoing in the settlement with those former employees. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
If you didn't have the gig that you have and you're not at the White House, you're not the reporter, would you raise a family in that area?
Absolutely not.
And either they're going to straighten their act out in the terms of government and in terms of protection, or we're going to have to federalize and run it the way it's supposed to be run.
It's brutal out here. It can be really, really tough. I don't live in DC proper anymore because it's just gotten kind of out of control. It's gotten dirtier, it's gotten more crowded, and a lot more violence, as you just alluded to. But my first year living here, I was seeing a lot of that, and it grew very quickly. So I moved here, I would say, in 2023. By the time I moved out after a year, it got really crowded. It got really messy. I remember getting emails from my apartment complex saying that there was a shooting just across the street, and it was maybe every other weekend. And I was saying, what decision did I make to even live here? I mean, obviously close proximity to the White House, which is what I wanted.
Yeah.
But wow, what a difference a year makes under, a leadership that doesn't really care that much about crime.
11:38, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. So we're about to jump into the lightning round. And I have 2 stories that we're going to revisit today in the lightning round. I had only planned to revisit one of the lightning round stories. But while I was going through my Instagram during the commercial break, something caught my eye. We'll discuss that. It's time for the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
Yeah, it's the lightning round. Every day at this time, we run through all the stories that we didn't have a chance to get to. Any last-minute hot takes from you, you can weigh in on the text line, the phone line, 615-737-9986. It's the lightning round. A little slow. You're still getting up, still getting your sea legs under you. I get it. All right, so what did I see on Instagram during the commercial break?
What did you see on Instagram during the commercial break?
Well, I came across Mason Fleming, young Mason.
What?
And I saw your story.
Yeah.
And you went and you saw a movie last night.
I did go see a movie last night.
You saw Superman.
I did. It's a good time.
Yeah, you said you loved it.
Yeah.
You loved it.
I think it's one of the best DC movies that's been put out in quite a while.
How long is quite a while? I almost called you Dan. That's how upset I am right now.
Oh, those are fighting words. I'm just kidding. We love you, Dan. Baby.
Love Dan.
Man, what was the last good?
It's been a while.
Probably the last Batman movie that came out.
Dark Knight?
No, the Robert Pattinson one.
Okay.
I really liked that one.
Okay.
But like before that, none of the DCEU stuff with like Zack Snyder. Not a fan.
Okay. On the lightning round a couple weeks ago, we played a review from one Mike Francesca, sports guy out of New York. Sports guy out of New York, and I don't think you were in that day.
I wasn't. No, I listened to the review.
Okay, I want you to dispute the review from one Mike Francesca.
All right.
The movie is ridiculous. First of all, forget the political innuendos, and they're about as subtle as a jackhammer. I don't care about that. I'm not getting into that. What I'm getting into is, as for someone who's a old-time TV show Superman guy, this movie was pure torture to sit through. This was 2 hours of this new Superman. It was he wasn't Christopher Reeves, but he was okay Superman, getting the crap beat out of him. Who wants to see Superman get beat up for 2 hours? He's getting beat up by everybody. Plus, you have other superheroes in the movie. I didn't go there to see some guy named Mr. Terrific.
Did you go there to see Mr. Terrific? Okay, that says enough.
Yep.
Or some lady named Hawk something or other. I don't know.
What did you think about Hawk something or other?
She was something or other.
We don't know who she was. Okay, these other superheroes who he calls on. Who are these other superheroes? This is a Superman movie. You want to see Superman flirt with Lois Lane, keep his disguise, and battle crime. That's what you want to see.
Did you see that, Mason?
I did see that. Superman fought some crime. Superman flirted with Lois Lane, and he saved the day.
Okay. Lois jumped in a spaceship and saved Superman at the end.
That part of it.
Where'd she learn how to ride a spaceship?
Mr. Terrific told her it was intuitive. He made technology that was available for others.
Why does Superman need to be saved by a civilian woman?
Because the spoilers ahead. Spoilers. Superman is put down by kryptonite. You know, the big weakness in the comics that affects Superman.
Oh, but he needed Lois Lane to save him. What happened to his robot pals?
His robot pals are, again, spoilers. He's in a separate dimension where there's no sun that can give him power.
First of all, early on, there's robots. I don't want robots. Okay, I don't want robots taking care of Superman.
Why do you want robots taking care of Superman, Mason?
It's a big part of Superman's story. It's part of, it's some of the newer elements added to the comics. But...
Yeah, it's too new for me.
Oh, yeah? Too new for you?
Then there's a super dog. Who came up with a super dog?
What's the deal with the super dog, Mason?
Crypto's been around for a long time. Actually,
we all like dogs, okay? And I didn't like the dog getting beat on in the movie. It bothered me. But, hey, who came up with a dog with a cape?
Did you like seeing the dog get beat up? Was that what you loved about the movie?
No, but I love that Superman was willing to sacrifice himself getting caught so that he could go save the dog. Because he cares about that. He cares about the dog.
When did that arrive? I watched Superman for years on television. I never saw a dog with a cape.
Crypto appeared in Action Comics 210 in 1955. So Crypto's been around quite a long time. Not as long as Superman, I will give you that. But he's been around quite a long time. The pitch for this DC movie is that we're jumping into Superman's life. He's already been around for a little bit. He's already got established heroes in the universe that he works alongside with. And you're coming in to experience a situation in Superman's life, and then you're stepping out. You get to enjoy the adventure while you're there with him, and then you move on.
Yeah, I'm passing. Hard pass.
That's fine. It's not for everybody.
Thank you, Mason.
I had a great time.
Thank you, Mason. Thank you for the movie review with Mason.
Absolutely.
We should do this more often, where you enjoy a movie and then I'll just crap on it.
Just crap on it all day?
I will.
I'm here for it.
All right, perfect. Movie reviews with Mason.
8.6.
Coming soon. An 8.6?
I give it an 8.6.
You know, so I don't know about you guys, but personally, I'm not wasting money on woke movies. It's a pirate's life for me. I made it through 15 minutes of that thing.
Really?
And I had to turn it off.
What was it, man? What was the one?
It was just, I just got 15 minutes in, and I was like, no.
What made you stop, though?
Yeah, what was it? What broke it? What was the straw that broke the camel's back?
I wasn't engaged. It didn't feel right.
Oh.
You're also not a huge movie person.
No.
That's also a thing that should be brought back up into the light. Chris isn't a movie person unless it has Hulk Hogan as Santa Claus.
Okay.
Fighting with what was it?
It was
lightsabers?
No, it was an evil scientist with exploding crystals.
Yes.
And Santa with muscles is a masterpiece. Rest in peace to Hulk Hogan, for the record. The man just died.
Listen, I didn't say it was a bad film. I just said that seems to be all that you like.
Whatever. I have a thing.
How do you feel
taste.
about Kindergarten Cop?
The cookies. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. All right. Enough about me. All right.
This isn't an attack on you.
This is the lightning round. And I got another story for you here in the lightning round. All right, this one is an interesting story, and everybody on the internet with a tinfoil hat is telling us that this is climate lockdown test run. What the hell is going on in Canada? Well, in Canada, America's hat, the 51st state, maybe you've heard of it. In Canada, they're having some measures installed to prevent wildfires, and one of the measures is you're not allowed to walk in the woods anymore. Huh. That's weird. Let's hear from Nova Scotia's premier as he talks about these new climate lockdowns.
Effective 4 p.m. today, we're telling Nova Scotians, stay out of the woods. We are restricting travel and activities that really aren't necessary for most of us. Hiking, camping, fishing, and the use of vehicles in the woods are not permitted. Trail systems through woods are off limits. Camping is allowed, but only in official campgrounds. The fine for violating any of these bans is the same as the fine for the ban on burning, $25,000.
Oh, whoa. So I can't hunt, fish, walk in the woods, or ride a vehicle in the woods without getting a $25,000 fine in Canada to prevent wildfires? Are these people serious?
Remind me when the last time fishing line and a hook caused a fire.
Yeah, honestly. When? Or sleeping in a sleeping bag. Highly combustible.
Can't think of... Don't sleep in the fire. You're good.
Yeah. Is this for real? It is. It is for real. And there's people that have gotten these fines. One guy said, screw you guys, I'm going in the woods. And they fined him $28,000.
That's wild.
Isn't that insane?
That's nuts.
These people are insane to the north of us. You understand that, right?
Yeah, maybe I don't want them to be the 51st state.
No.
It'll deserve
Bunch of commies. So everybody's saying this is a test run for climate lockdowns. What are climate lockdowns? Well, the premise is that the government or the global elites, if we're going full tinfoil, occasionally we go full tinfoil. Occasionally you can hear the crinkle through your radio.
Yes.
Occasionally. But they're laying the groundwork to restrict personal freedoms under the banner of saving the planet. right? So this is how the narrative usually goes with the climate lockdowns. Trial run was COVID lockdowns, and we saw what happened there. Everybody was willing to say, govern me harder, daddy. And then the WEF, the World Economic Forum, the UN, they're going to push 15-minute cities. There's going to be carbon rationing via digital IDs, and then emergency declarations for climate events, kind of like the pandemic, but it'll be for things like heat waves, storms, droughts, wildfires. And then they'll ban non-essential activities like hiking and fishing and hunting. And then the climate lockdown, people say that you'll get energy quotas, rolling blackouts, fuel limits, mandatory green upgrades enforced under temporary measures that never end. And this has been a conspiracy theory on the internet for a long time. And you can look at Agenda 2030 and make your own assumptions. But when you see what's happening in Canada, it's like, are the conspiracy theorists right again? When on earth, Mason, you said it perfectly. When on earth has a fishing hook and a fishing line caused a fire?
I'm just saying. Just saying.
I don't think it's ever happened.
You know what? I'm going to look it up now.
Google it. So they'll say that the World Economic Forum, the UN, Agenda 2030, IMF, central banks, climate NGOs, billionaires like Gates, Bloomberg, Soros, they're all in on the climate lockdowns. The alleged end game is a permanent, normalized population control, not just for pandemics, but for any crisis, limiting your movement and removing all that. So something to keep an eye on as they're going absolutely bananas in Canada. Another thing I will say, though, is I don't think it's coming here. And I'll tell you why. We have a reasonable government currently. Things could change with Democrats. Make no mistake about it. Things could absolutely change with Democrats. But currently, we have Donald Trump sitting in the office, and currently we have Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who just recently rejected the United Nations climate proposal for net zero emissions. Shout out to Rubio. This is pretty based and red-pilled. He posted this on X yesterday, and he said, the United States will not accept any environmental agreement that harms the interests of the American people. The International Maritime Organization's proposal for a net zero framework is a tax on Americans levied by an unaccountable UN organization. Secretary Duffy, Secretary Wright, Howard Lutnick, and I reject this proposal. So he said, no, we're not doing that. And again, while we can look at Canada and be like, you guys are bat bleep crazy. What's happening in Canada and it's happening in Europe, my dad used to always say when we were growing up, that's 10 years away from coming to America. Something to keep an eye on. I don't think conservatives would ever allow this to go through, but you know how pendulums do. They tend to swing. And should Democrats get in power, you're seeing a lot of leftist lunatics already implement these kind of policies. So something to keep your eye on. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. This is going to be our last one. This is another update. I said we were going to have two updates, okay? Do you remember the state lawmaker, Democrat out of, it was Maryland? He got arrested for stealing from a Target. Do you remember that? We talked about that story in the lightning round. He was rushing around. And it was because he was trying to get to his grandma's house, so he missed scanning some things, and he got arrested. Oh, it wasn't Maryland, it was Connecticut. My apologies. It's just as lousy of a state.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
What state would you rather live in, Connecticut or Maryland? They both sound awful.
I think I go Connecticut just because I have a friend who lives there, and I know I'd have someone to talk with. Otherwise,
a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah,
because you live in Connecticut.
Because I live in Connecticut.
Yep, fair. Connecticut State Rep Raghib Ali Brennan is facing a second set of shoplifting charges tied to the exact same Target store that he was arrested at earlier this summer. Ken, this is a good one for nincompoops in the news for you, brother.
All right, let's hear it, bro.
So this Democrat lawmaker was arrested in June for stealing from a Target, and he's been arrested for stealing from that same Target again.
Yes. And it's a Democrat.
Yeah. Democrat in Connecticut. He said the first time he was running late for grandma. Remember?
Right.
Well, the 33-year-old Democrat has turned himself into police on July 28th after a warrant was issued in arrest in connection with an incident at that same Bethel Target. According to an arrest affidavit, a store security guard reported seeing Allie Brennan concealing items in the Goodfellow bag that he had selected. The unpaid merchandise in this case was $54.55. Target employees told police they recognized the four-term legislator from previous unreported larcenies. He was released on a promise to appear in state superior court last week. Again, on July 3rd, this was after his first arrest, he had posted to Facebook that he'd applied for accelerated rehabilitation, a program for first-time offenders that can result in charges being dropped after a court-imposed conditions are met. He told the Post that both cases are now being handled under the same application for the program. Republican leaders in the state have called for his resignation.
Yeah, man. I
You got a problem, brother.
Yeah, you do.
Is he pleading he's a kleptomaniac and needs help?
I don't know. The first time he was saying, I had to get to grandma.
Which is...
I don't see an excuse on the second one. The story doesn't say that there's any excuse.
You know what's nuts? Some targets, so they do it here in Murfreesboro and in Mount Juliet. They will add up all the things that you take until it counts as a grand larceny, and then they file charges and arrest you.
100%.
That way you for sure go to jail.
That started in the great state of California.
Yes, sir.
Because they raised the shoplifting minimum where they're going to prosecute, was it like $900 or something around there? So they said, all right, we'll just start tallying.
Yes. And so they keep basically a tally of everything you take, add up everything, and then they hit you with the book.
Would love to see the Google spreadsheet under that guy's name.
Would be so good.
What an idiot.
So good.
I think he's going to start blaming the police.
He should. It's like, I'm black.
We need to defund the police in Connecticut.
They're way too efficient at Target.
They're way too good at crime fighting.
Too much time on their hands.
That does it for today's edition of the Lightning Round. I'm sorry that Mason defended the Superman movie.
I'm not.
We're going to have a talk with him off air. We're going to have a talk, I promise. We're going to check in with Chad Benson on the way, too, see what's coming up in the Chad Benson Show right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Here's a rabbit hole for your weekend. The Labubu dolls are demonic. Now, this comes from Reddit, which obviously it's
reliable as all get out.
Huge news source. It said, Labubu is the creation of a famous artist from Hong Kong who received inspiration from Norse mythology.
Ooh.
And his loves for elves and stranger animals for his 3 Nordic fairy tale picture books, Where Live the Monsters, which are both good and evil. The most famous one is Labubu.
Labubu!
A small monster with high pointed ears and serrated teeth. What do they look like? Has anybody seen a picture of these things?
Yeah, I've never even seen a picture.
They're a little creepy
Oh,
looking.
yeah, dude, they are creepy. Oh, they do look demonic. Here, put it on the screen.
Labubu.
Put it on the stream. Put it on the stream. This is for all y'all at YouTube. That definitely looks like a fuzzy little devil.
Yeah, just a little bit.